Good afternoon, everyone. I only pray the network will do justice to us today, will not mess up like yesterday. I'm just waiting for more people to join us. Thank you for joining us. Selima, Fresh, Tola Ogun, thank you. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to play this music for us. Good afternoon, Mr. Sadiq. Thanks for joining in. Thank you everyone. We're just starting. We're still talking about investing in food security and rural development. We started yesterday. I will turn off the music now and then we can start. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I needed to play that music and I stumbled on that music sometimes last year. A group of young guys in FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, sang that song. And then a little bit of twist. They actually rapped and in that song. I wonder what happened to that song. It's not so popular. Maybe they couldn't get funding or anything. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining in. I can only pray that the network today will be good and would allow us listen and discuss in peace, unlike yesterday. Udi Foods, thanks for joining. All right, everyone. Yesterday we started talking about investing in food security, the theme of the World Food Day yesterday, investing in food security, Kinzo High. Amen. Yes, I'm sorry, no notice. Yes, I'm so sorry. A lot of things. You know, I said there was going to be a guest that would come in and somehow it just didn't work. And I felt I'd promised people yesterday, and even without giving any notice, I should just come on and do what I think I can do. So I'm so sorry about that. Yes, I didn't notify anybody. All right, I said we started yesterday with investing in food security and rural development, and you know, the conversation continued. Somebody actually took a gist on a particular WhatsApp group, 2 WhatsApp groups to be precise, and then we continued the gist on the group. And because the group, one in particular, has a group of women that I belong to, and then we started talking about the issue of the beans being preserved with fumigation chemicals and so many things. And then people started talking about the fish and the stock fish as well that Udi Foods mentioned yesterday. I didn't even know about stock fish. Anyway, that's about it. We, you know, the only thing we can do right now is we've spoken to ourselves yesterday is to grow some basic vegetables at home. So today I'd actually prepared, you know, just about 11 o'clock I started. That was why I couldn't send out the notice. I started looking at what to speak about, and then some few minutes to 12, something else popped into my head, and I said, okay, I think this will be fantastic. Please just tap the heart so that I'll know that people are there because of these network issues. Thank you. So another thing just popped into my head, and I said, I think I'll rather go with this than speaking about this. So we will relate this to food security and rural development. Thank you. So that's what we're going to do. And if we have any experience that we would like to share, I would like you to please just comment on it, and then we'll take the comments afterwards. Talking about investing in food security and rural development, I'm going to relate it to Good afternoon. I'm going to relate it to our farm hands. Our farm hands. Yes, this wasn't what I planned to talk about, but I will relate it to, the farm hands, the people that work with us, especially those that are farmers, even those that process food. And so I'm going to be sharing some real life scenarios, some things that just happened. 2 weeks ago, Saturday to be precise, I mentioned that particular day that I was talking about blind spots. If anyone can remember, it was Kinzo that made me do that video that day. And I started talking about we engaging people that have the practical knowledge and not just the theoretical knowledge, not people with BSc that do not actually know about anything practically, and we said that even if they are not educated, once they are competent enough, we are good to go with them. However, there are so many stories, even with people that are educated, everything just boils down to we as individuals, our values, our mentality. Let me put it that way. Our farm hands, there are so many, there are so many atrocities that they commit, and at the end of the day it would affect our farm produce. There are so many things that they do that would affect our output, no matter how much input we have put into the business. Now, for example, like I said, I'm going to be sharing scenarios, things that happened. Yes, we said no PhD holder, but an experienced farmer. Yes, that was what we said. And that was based on something that happened to two of my friends as well. So, for example, I'm going to be sharing two scenarios. A particular one happened to my husband and I. We have a pig farm in one of the largest the largest pig estate in Africa, in West Africa, not in Africa, owned by Lagos State government. So people buy pens in the pig farm estate, and then you run your pig farm. And we've been running this pig farm for about 4 to 5 years now. And then the farm hand that started when my husband bought that pen, the particular pen, the farm hand that was there, we just decided to retain her. And she's a grandmother, so she's an elderly woman, but competent. So I'm also going to relate this story to us, as even the farmers, the way we treat them, the farm hands, because it's also very important. But I'll finish this story first, and then I'll bring it back to us. So we engaged the services of this woman, and I'm just going to say a bit of how we treated her. She's been there for 4 years. She's a grandma, and at times she comes to me. She says, "Oh no," she sends my husband to me that if you have this, if you have that, school bags and everything. I said, okay, fine. I send it to her for her children. Those are some of the things that at least we can do to encourage them, apart from paying them salaries. Those little things that we think we can afford, we can do without, just to encourage them. And so this woman has been with us for a while. And then after some time, recently, my husband has just been suspicious. And, because she's an elderly woman, the way women are, I'm like, no, what do you mean? She can't do this, she can't do that, trying to support and cover up for her, even though I didn't really know what she was doing or what she could do or what she was capable of doing. To cut a long story short, we discovered that this woman actually has her own pigs in some other pen, not too far from her pen, which is against the ethic of or the rule of that particular estate, pig farm estate. The cooperative coordinating it is actually against the rules and regulation that farm hands must not have pigs, that it is not allowed. It's against it. So this particular woman had her own pig in a separate pen, different from us. We didn't know about it. We're not privy to the information. Chineke, you've not even heard gist. So she had the pig, fine, but you know what she was now doing, which my husband became suspicious of. My husband would always go about source from these malams, fruits and fruits, vegetables, leftover fruits and everything. So because he's still in his 9 to 5, and then weekends, first thing he goes to the farm and takes it to the farm. And then my husband would always say to me that these feeds, I mean, not the feeds that we buy now, but the ones we source for free, at least to augment what we buy, so that we'll be able to reduce cost of feeding. So my husband would always say that these feeds, it looks as if it's finishing on time, and he became suspicious. But as a woman, you understand, and I want to be, I want to be very nice in quotes. Let me put it that way, because since she's a grandma, I'm like, what do you mean? How can you be saying that? This person did this woman did this. Blooming Gardens, thanks for joining. So I didn't want my husband, I would always, talk him out of it. But to cut a long story short, we discovered that the woman was actually using her feed to feed her own pigs. And at some point, my husband also got plantain peels. And then in less than 1 week, the peels had finished. And my husband was like, no, this can't be happening. And not only that, even the medicine that we buy, this woman would always use it on her own pigs, So also, she had a relationship. I came here once and I was saying that, be friends with your neighbors, be this, be that, and we thought we had a fantastic neighbor. But apparently, the neighbor knew all along. The neighbor knew all along, one. Not only that, the neighbor too was actually doing deals. And then when they bring the feeds, the ones that we buy now, and they begin to bag, my husband would always say, look, I would like to be there before they bag these feeds. And I'm always like, your own is too much. What is this? What is that? The way we women are. Just to, I just feel that woman won't be able to do such. And apparently the woman knows how to take out of the feed and then sell out of it. And she was selling to neighbors that will feel that, they should be your eye, they should be the ones watching you. And that was what we discovered. And of course, it was so painful. It was very, very painful, especially for me, because I'd tried to defend her because she's an elderly woman. She's not even a young person. I tried to defend her so many times. But that's okay. One thing I learned from that, which my husband just started doing 2 years after she joined us, and we were happy, we were glad that we did that, was that my husband started keeping. There was a salary raise, and then my husband said, look, I'm going to be keeping out of your salary. Assuming, let's say she's earning 1,000 naira monthly, and my husband says, I'm going to be keeping 200 naira as security, or whenever you need it, you can come back and ask me for it. Or if you need a loan, this salary will stand as like a collateral. I've not finished telling you all the story. This is just one out of the many that I have. So that was what we started doing about 2 years ago, and got so good. She had almost 50,000 as savings with us. And sometimes last year, I think she borrowed out of it. So she had about 30-something thousand left. So we were able to get that. We didn't lose out totally, even though we might have lost. Because even the pigs were some of our pigs, some of the pigs that gave birth, she apparently took out of it and then was raising it in. Now the neighbor that she came to the neighbor she put the pen she's using, I think I blame that person. The question should have been, is your boss aware that you're doing this? Is your boss is your boss in the picture? You know, neighbors, people. And this boils down to each and every one of us talking about food security now. It doesn't have anything to do with the government. You know, I said it yesterday. I wonder how the neighbor could have accepted that without even asking the boss that, oh, this woman has done this. Are you aware? And I mean, there is nothing that stops the woman from even asking, Oga, I want to do this. I want to do that. Am I allowed? And then we begin to talk. How do you want to sustain their feeding? Because we know that 90% of your expenses when it comes to livestock goes to the feeding. Bulk of your money goes to the feeding. So that is just one story out of the many that I have. Farm hands. But at the same time, that does not mean that we should treat them badly or treat them anyhow. Now, Kinzo, I met Kinzo on Instagram. I've never met him, but hopefully one day we should meet. You know, he's been the one pushing and encouraging me to keep doing this, and some other people as well that I haven't even met physically, but they've been the ones pushing and encouraging me. I saw one or two pictures, how he relates with his farm hands. I don't know if he has a fantastic story or he has a negative story, but what I saw him do, sometimes last week he was in Port Harcourt setting up a rice farm for somebody. I saw him praying with the farm hands, and then they were singing. Another video, I saw him playing with the farm hands. While they were working, they were all having fun, singing. Oh, and I feel, oh, this is fantastic. This is good. I will be nice to them. That's just the best I can do. But, you know, at the same time, we've had negative stories. There was the case of this, my friend, that would not even allow outputs, you know, we will not be able to get the expected output because of some of these bad stories, or some of these bad eggs, some of these bad people that we have. That was the story of this, my friend too, that farm hands now in a poultry. Guess what they were doing? They steal eggs from the poultry and ask me how they were doing this. If there is anybody online, please tap their heart. Please, Kinzo, where are you? You know, and my other good friend, Udi Foods, I can see you. So what they do is they break the egg inside 5-liter jerry can, and then they go out to sell. Thank you. They go out to sell. Now the question is, who are the people buying from them? I mean, somebody won't bring. I'm not talking about cracked eggs now. You know, caterers, that's what they do. They buy cracked eggs. That's what they do. But now they break the egg, the yolk and the egg white inside 5 liters jerry can. So you won't even know what they are taking out of the farm. They break it and then people buy it from them. Who are the people buying it from them? In as much as we are talking about these farm hands and the negative things that they do, who are the people buying this from them? I'm a caterer, assuming I'm a caterer, and somebody brings such to me. Will I buy? Why should I buy? So, if we're talking about investing in food security, let's search ourselves as well. Some of these things that we do that are not even right. Yes, people buy it. Now, let me tell you, if people do not buy it, then they won't be doing it. It's because people buy it. And the people that will patronize them are people that would need the egg and make use of it instantly. Am I going to keep broken eggs in my freezer for how long? People buy it, yes. I'm relating our farm hands now to our investments. talking about investment in food security. But at the same time, these are negative stories. But at the same time, because of the negative stories that we have heard, that does not mean that we should treat them anyhow. Yes, I won't do that as a person. I mean, it's sad that that woman did that, even though she's an elderly woman. She's someone that I trusted, in quotes, let me put it that way, at least to an extent. And then you went all out to do that. It's rather sad. I never met her. I mean, I never, after the whole incident, I didn't meet her. If I had met with her, I know what I would have said to her. I know how I would have spoken to her, not in a rude way, but I would have spoken to her in such a way that, that is, like Udi would say, that is if her conscience has not traveled, if the conscience is still with her here in Lagos, Nigeria. That's about the negative stories. So I'm going to bring it back to us, relate it back to we, the farmers, that we actually engage them. When you're getting your farm hands, we have said that we are not looking for people that can speak the grammar. We are not looking for people that are PhD holders, because I've seen people that have actually gone out to employ PhD holders, but we are looking for competent people, people that are skillful in that, aspect. Those are the people that we are looking for. And because we are looking for that, those that kind of people, they are human beings too. We have to treat them nicely. How do we treat them nicely? Number one, when you are employing them, or when you employ them, make sure that where they live isn't too far to where they work. That is, if you are the one providing accommodation for them, make sure that it is not too far. If they have to walk to the farm, by the time they get to the farm, make sure that they are not too tired. The distance from the farm to the home, it's not too far. However, if it is far, then you might just need to provide some form of transportation. It could be a bike. I think the last time I mentioned it too, that sorry, they might even use your bike for PP. But you know why you have provided them with this. You know why you're doing that, so that the work can actually go on the farm, so that your input, your output at the end of the day will be much more than what you have put into it. That's why you're doing all this. So accommodation, please make sure that where they live, if you're the one providing the accommodation for them, is not too far from the farm. Also, there are some little things that you can do just to encourage and to support them. I have a friend who actually sent his own farmhands children to school. The man is quite elderly and has been working with him for a while, so he sponsors the children. In fact, I have two people like that. He sponsors the children. They are just, basic things just to help them out. And then another thing that we can do, once you have them in a particular community, very, very basic, just register them in the health center in that community. Register them. Make sure you have a first aid box. Yes, it makes them to have a sense of belonging and stake. Yes, that's just it. Make sure that you have a first aid box on the farm. This just came to me now. You should have a first aid box. Anything can happen. The basic things that we can get in the first aid box: paracetamol, your spirit, your iodine, your cotton wool. Just have it on the farm, so that when some of this minor injury occurs, at least they can quickly go to the first aid box to take care of themselves. That's one. And then two, register them in the health center, at least the health center facility that you have in that community. It is very, very essential. It won't cost you so much. It won't cost you so much. They are human beings like us. Apart from looking at the negative story that I started with, sorry I started with that, but there are things that actually happen. There are things that we see all the time. But that won't deter us as the owner of the farms from doing what we are expected to do. I have told you about keeping part of your salary as a means of security, so that when anything happens, you actually have that to hold on to. That's another way. So hold on to part of your salary, not too much. Assuming they are taking 20,000 naira, you can save at least 1,000 or 2,000 from their salary. Something that won't hurt them too much at the same time. So at the end of the day, I also have the story of one of the farm hands that I heard about. I actually saw the pictures and I saw what the guy did. He was high on codeine. Apparently, he takes drugs, and the guy didn't know. And believe you me, he was a dedicated worker, very, very hardworking. This guy knows his onions. But unfortunately, he was on drugs, and the boss didn't know. The boss didn't know. So one of those days on the farm, he just went to take his thing, and that was it. If you see the damage this guy caused on the havoc, I mean, even the if there was anything like keeping out of his salary, it wouldn't have been able to cover the damages that this guy, the things that he damaged on the farm. So the guy was high on codeine that particular day, and then he took the farm bus, he drove it, he just destroyed so many things. Of course, he had to go. He was even threatening his boss because he was high on codeine. So that sent something to me. Am I going to run tests? Am I going to do like a check for my farm hands? What if they don't stay? Anyway, it's left for us to decide. What if at the end of the day, we've seen farm hands? In fact, that one to happen to us. Our plantain farm. We paid their transportation from outside the country to Nigeria, and the day they came, by the following day, they disappeared. Those are some of the things that you experience. But like I said, even though we are experiencing all these things, that does not mean that there are good ones. There are very, very good ones. There are competent ones. Please, not all of them are bad. There are very, very good farm hands. There are fantastic farm hands. But those are some of the experiences that those are some of the things that you experience on the job while farming. And that does not mean that we should become nasty and mean to them. Let me put it that way. So for some of these people, are you going to run a check on them when you're about to employ them? Are you going to check, medical check, like, testing if, apart from the basic tests that you might need to do, testing if they're on something, on any kind of drugs, hard drugs, so to say. Because if my friend had done that, he would have known. I know that a lot of us won't even look at that area. Even me, not until that my friend, mentioned to me that this was what happened. So our farm hands, when we talk about, looking at the theme of the World Food Day, investing in food security and rural development. Like the case of the man that decided to sponsor the farmhands' children to school. Sort of, we are helping to develop that community. We are helping to develop that place. Because at the end of the day, how much will they actually, if you can afford it, of course, it's not compulsory. There are other things that we can do to help out. But for me, I look at education as being very, very important. So that's just my own take. But when I saw somebody doing that, I was really elated hearing that. I was so happy that, oh, this is what you're doing to your farm hands. He helped in sending the children to school. When they go to the community school, it's not something that is that expensive in quotes, at least something that is affordable We all know. And so that would really help in developing the rural area. And that might also help them, not to migrate. For some that would not want to, but for some that would want to stay. And that would help in a way too. So I don't know if anyone has any. I would like to read a comment so that we can comment on it. If anyone has any comment, you've had a negative experience you would like to share with us about farmhands. I just related 2 or 3 out of the so many that I have that I know. But like I said, that won't deter us from doing what we need to do. It won't stop us in any way. That won't stop us. So anyone with comments, contribution, thanks for joining. Even though we're about to round up, we've been talking about the World Food Day. Yes, what about questions? Please go ahead, ask your questions. For those that just joined in, we've been talking about the World Food Day. The theme we started yesterday, and the theme for this year is investing in food security and rural development. And today we decided to relate it to our farm hands to see how, we can actually, they either help us or they do not. Our farm hands, how they would affect us positively or negatively. I mean the output, our produce now. And we have shared some not too good stories, at the same time some fantastic stories. And we have also said that we ourselves, no matter what, at least we should try and be nice to them. They are human beings too. They are human beings. They are human beings. And we should be nice to them in our own little way. Apart from the salaries now, I've spoken about the healthcare. Register them in a health clinic in the community. Make sure you have a first aid box. Make sure that you kit them. You kit them. There was a day I got to a farm, a friend's farm, I think, and I saw them using hand. I saw them using their hand to do something, and I was wondering, why don't they have gloves or something to wear? Those are some of the things that we need to look into. Okay, your question: is there a basic salary for farm hands, and is there a community for farm hands? Now, I'll start with the latter one. Community for farm hands. No. In fact, when I started writing about them, there was a time I was writing and someone said, oh, I should look into it. I don't want to die young yet. It's just like I'm not sure if I have the capacity yet. Let me put it that way. Not that, the headache. Now, if you say community, I'm going to tell you no, because people actually can help you source for farm hands from either Cotonou, Togo, and then you pay for transportation, because it happened to us. I'm telling you from experience. And they come in, assuming I'm the one trying to build the community. You have paid me for transportation, you have paid me my agency fees, and I bring them, and then the following day they abscond. My name is at stake. Do you understand? My name is at stake. So for now, there is no community for farm hands. Then asking for a basic salary. The question on basic salary, I think it differs from location to location. That I know of. Lagos, Lagos, for example, Ekpe, Ikorodu, Badagry, depending on what they do now. It depends on what they do. Basic, between 20 and 25,000 for farm hands. Lagos. Now, if you are going to Abeokuta, Ibadan, around 15-20,000. Then I know if you now go further, going to Osun and Co, I heard between 10 and 15. I'm not so sure about that. But basic, I know about basic. That I'm very sure of. So, I hope I've been able to answer your question. and then I'll move on to the next person. So there is no community that I know of for now. I can only speak with somebody that knows these people from outside the country and then bring them in. But I'm careful because it has happened to me before. We have experienced it. I'm careful to even introduce people to that kind of arrangement. I'm being careful. I mean, we paid for transportation and they came into the farm today, and the following day, every one of them disappeared. They absconded. Until date, we never saw them. So it might even be an opportunity for them to want to come into Nigeria. Maybe they were just looking for somebody to pay for their transportation fare. And right now, I'm even going to tell you, maybe some other time I'll be talking about season, the different season we experience. Okay, that was very helpful. So let me move on to the next one, then I'll come back to the season. I've not heard any, okay, you've not had any negative experience. All the guys I've worked with are great guys. Yeah, that's good. I just believe we should make them have a stake in the business. Yes, 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 yes. I know of people. Now, let me expatiate on that. I know of people, this is what they do. Assuming you're farming on 2 hectares of land. I've explained hectares, acres, plot. 15 plots of land makes an acre. Now, assuming you're just farming on just 2 hectares, which is 30 plots, and you do this, having a stake. Hey, yeah, so sorry about that, and we've said so much, but you can watch the replay. I'll save it so you can watch it. Now, having a stake to me can be, I'll give you 2 plots. I'll give you the input like seed, whatever I'm using on the farm. I'll give you as well. This is our expected yield at the end of the day. Remember, out of my 30 plots, I have given my farm hands, whether they are 3, they are 4, I have given them two plots of land. That is, I want to expatiate on the person that said making them have a stake in the business. What I'm concerned about is, out of the 28 plots that I have left, this is my expected output. This is the expected yield, and I must have it. Do whatever it takes. I have given you 2 plots. I have given you input, seed, fertilizers, whatever I'm going to use, I have given you. I mean, I'm making you comfortable. I'm still paying you your salaries. I'm still, medicals, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to go out of my way to provide you accommodation. I'm going to provide you transportation. I just want to make life very easy for you. And then I'm still giving you these 2 plots. It's for you. But what I need from you is my output must be the expected output at the end of the day. That is all what I need from you. Expatiating on stake now. And then stake again can be some other things. But that is another one. Just give them either 1 or 2 plots and tell them this is what I need from you. So I don't know if anyone has any other contribution or question to ask. I hope I've been able to do justice to that, and I believe we are gaining 1 or 2 things. Sorry, this one just popped into my head this morning. Oh, thank you. I'm on point. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good that you've not had any negative experience. That's what I always desire too. I mean, I've said your mind, okay. I mean, that's what I always look forward to, that when I have workers, when people are working for me, I mean, I just want us to be, to be at peace. It might not be that. That was what I wanted from that elderly woman. I just wanted her to be good, and I will be good too. And we are all very good with ourselves. I'm paying you. I'm going the extra mile to satisfy you. I feel you owe me the same. I mean, you should be on top of your game. You shouldn't be. She was competent. That woman was competent, fantastic. But it's just the bad behavior that she exhibited at some point, and then we discover. So I don't know if any other person has any question I said we have a giveaway. I haven't even. Is it advisable to work with strangers as a startup? I don't understand what you mean by strangers. You mean your farm hands? I don't think you will know. It's just like any regular job. I mean, you will definitely work with strangers. Your farm hands will be strangers. We were just fortunate that that woman was recommended. The person working for us now, we really don't know the person as such, but somebody brought the person. So, but when you are talking about crops, the people on our plantain farm, they are strangers. We don't know them. We don't know them from anywhere. So it depends on what you're talking about now. Have I been able to answer that question? As a startup, because except somebody recommends someone to you. Okay, strangers as in Yoruba working with boys from Jos. You know that I'm a Yoruba woman. And you know that most times they say that Yorubas are lazy, that we are very lazy, especially when it comes to them working on the farm. And so that's why most times we go to Kutonu, we go outside Nigeria, we go to Jos, we go to the north, we go to Benue to look for these farm hands. I know that some people do that, but that's not, I'm not ready to put my head or hands into that, because I wouldn't want anyone to come and spoil my integrity by saying, oh, I want to go and get boys for this person, and then the boys will come and they will disappear. If you get people from Jos, I don't know, we can only be hopeful and pray. That's just it. Because I really, and then somebody will bring that person. They'll be coming down to Ogun State by January, and I'm not sure they understand English. Oops. That one is a serious one. If you're talking about communication now, I think it's serious. I was going to talk about season. Maybe I will talk about it some other time, because it's almost 1 p.m. and I need to go and do some other stuff. But I will talk about season. I know that right now, a lot of people are complaining they do not have farm hands. A lot of the farm hands. Please, I don't know their background. You don't know their background, but you need them. But what I see that might be the problem now is communication gap. It might be a very serious problem. In fact, there was the story of somebody that had a communication gap. I think I wrote about it. Farmhands. Yes, I wrote about that particular story. One, they brought those guys from outside Nigeria, either Togo or Benin Republic, and then there were 4. One of them, it was only one of them that could understand it, that understood English, and then the 3 were the only language they understood was French. And then that other young guy became the mouthpiece. So I'll relate it to this your Jos story, or your Jos your people coming in from Jos. And then that one that could speak English, was the only one that could communicate with the owner of the farm. And apparently, when the boss tells him something, he tells those guys some other things entirely. And he messed up that farm. So what I see with this transaction is communication gap. There might be communication gap, and that might be a problem, especially for a startup. Because a startup, you're new into agri. I mean, you need competent people. They might be competent, but if there's communication gap, how do you want to communicate with them? So let's even leave the background check and everything. Communication is key. Communication is important. If you tell them to do this and they do the wrong thing, how do you cope? How will you cope if all of them can't speak English? If at least 1 or 2. In fact, I would even prefer if they are bringing 5, assuming if 3 at least can speak English, and you know that is only 2. Because the story of that, my friend, now that only 1 could speak English, and then he was telling the workers different things entirely. He messed up the pen. The farm. He messed it up. He messed it up. So do we have any more questions? If we don't, I might just need to go. But before I go, I said we have a free training on snail for just one person. Is one-on-one training. I haven't posted what I said I was going to post about it. Kotsi, Kinzo Farms, and myself, we're going to sponsor just one person to go for the snail training, and it's just that person that actually starts. You know that you want to start snail training, and genuinely you can't afford this training. I would need you to slide into my DM after and tell me you're welcome. Also, we're supposed to have grapevine training next tomorrow, but unfortunately, this is the second time we'll be shifting it, postponing it, because we do not have enough people signing up. But we will still do it because it's an untapped GF Gardens. What's for you? Is it me? Me, please. No, it's not for people that are available. It's for that one person that if we train you this week, you will start the snail farm the following week. And you will tell me why you need it. You will give me reasons why you need that training. And if you think, and tell me genuinely, honestly, sincerely, if you think you can't afford it. I'm a young graduate. I'm young too. I'm not old. I'm a young graduate too. The free training is just for one person, one-on-one, and it's one-on-one. Yes, it's one-on-one. So slide into my DM, and then myself and Kinzo will put heads together and we'll pick the winner, and I would announce the winner maybe tomorrow, because there's going to be a live show tomorrow. So just follow me at Farm to 2016. Of course, if you're here, you're following me. Follow at Kinzo Farms as well. Look for him because he's the one sponsoring, really. I'm just looking for I just looked for the platform. So I was talking about our grapevine training we're supposed to hold. It was meant to hold on Thursday, but we had to shift it. This will be the second time. We're supposed to go to Ofa to visit the grapevine farm and then have the classroom training here. But a lot of people just said to me, oh, they can't travel to Ofa is far, blah, 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 blah. It's okay. But what I do is on hands training. That's what we do. So whatever training we do is actually done on the farm. And so I don't believe in classroom training. I don't believe in the WhatsApp training. Yes, it's good, but at the same time, I feel that people should see agric is practical and they should see what they are doing. So that's the grapevine training isn't happening again this year till next year by the grace of God. But come November 11th, that second Saturday in November, we'll be visiting the pig farm estate and we'll be training people on piggery. So we'll be visiting the pig farm estate. I'm going to do the flyer and put it up. It's 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira covers the training, transportation, lunch, writing materials, and every other thing that we can think of. So November 11th, I can't afford it. I want to start tomorrow. You are good. Slide into my DM, not here. So I was talking about the pig farm training November 11th, 10,000 naira, everything that you need to know, how to source for the feed, composition of the different types of pigs that we have, the bois, the gilts, blah, 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 and everything. The feeding, the feed especially, how to save cost on the feed. So we are going to the biggest, and then the place is Okiaru, somewhere not too far from Alagbado, a border between Lagos and Ogun State. If you are going to set up your pig farm, for example, in that Okiaro, you don't need to do a market research. The market is readily available. I mean, people come from all over Nigeria to buy pigs from that place. Not only Nigeria, from outside Nigeria. From Cotonou, they come. From from Cotonou, they come. From Togo, they come. People come from the south, my worry people. Ha! I hate the kind of trailers that they bring in to that place to buy pigs to take back to Warri. So it's the biggest pig farm estate. That's why November 11th, pig farm training is 10,000 naira. The earlier you make payments to secure your space, the better. Also, I have been postponing for a long time. And just yesterday, I just made up my mind that it has to happen. I mentioned the farmers hangout. I'm not sure if it will happen this year, but I will see, because this year is almost coming to an end, and then it's towards the end of the year can be very busy. We are planning Songhai trip. I mentioned it the last class, and then we have fixed a date already. Songhai trip, not Songhai, not any of those ones in Nigeria. Those are just pilot ones or replica of the main one. We are going to Port Novo. So we are going to Port Novo. If you are interested, please slide into my DM. But we have to start making payments. Those are some of the challenges that we have right now. People won't want to pay. They wait till the last minute. But we have to secure the hotel rooms. We have to secure, accommodation, the restaurant, even the place you're going to. They need to know ahead of time. They need to know that we are coming. They need to book us down, as well as this transportation. We need to secure the transportation as well. So if you are interested in Songhai trip, it's happening in December 1st to 3rd December. It's going to be 2 nights, 3 days. 2 nights, 3 days at Port Novo. Every farmer needs to visit that place. Every farmer. Because there is zero waste on that farm. Paper is not wasted. It's recycled. Smoke is used as well. Everything is useful. So we need to go there and see what is happening. And guess what? It's owned by a Nigerian, a reverend father from the southeast, a reverend father. Their spoiled carrot is turned into soap. Their spoiled cucumber is turned into soap. So many things that they recycle. There is no waste. It's zero waste. So if you're interested in Songhai as well, I've mentioned 3 things. If you really genuinely think you can't afford snail farm training, slide into my DM. Just one person. It's just one person we are sponsoring. If you also think, if you're interested in the pig farm, it's 10,000 naira. Songhai, if you are interested in it as well, please just slide into my DM for more information. But the date is December 1st to 3rd of December. We'll leave Lagos on the 1st of December and then come back on the 3rd of December by the grace of God. So I think we are done right now. I'm going to leave you with this music from Futa Boys. I hope we can have it. Instagram will cut me off. Yes. Can you hear the music as we end today's show? Same time, same venue, tomorrow, 12 noon. Please don't forget to log in. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. And have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Can you hear them rapping? Yeah. Reggae. I'm Yabeji, so I love that song. Thank you, everyone. I love you too. Thank you, Majed. I love you too. You're all welcome. I need to go now. I love the song from those boys. Let us go